or something. So I've been posting live highlights, so I can just kind of easily just get a video out, basically just do a little edit on it, just bang it out, basically. So it's quite convenient, really. And Royce says, anyway, gonna go, just wanted to say hello. I just came to say hello. Remember that song, guys? Yeah. All right. All right, let's try that again. So I've done some Christmas shopping, watched a couple of videos of you busking. Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah. Yeah. But I just had some dickhead earlier. Yeah. Thank you for the heart me, Charles. I think he was just trying to wind me up. I don't know. Like, he was just trying to be like saying, oh, if you want to make money, I don't know about that, Logan. Hang on. Weren't you on like trolling or something? I don't know. Like really, but I've been getting a lot of trolls and stuff. But the people that I would actually pay attention to their opinions, they don't like say a bunch of shit like, "Oh, you're not very good" or something. It's usually the people who don't know me, or they're just kind of negative people that just want to cause problems. They want to like get you angry or whatever it is. They want to get a reaction. Some people are just out to cause a nuisance and stuff. How can I improve on push-ups? Genuine question. I get fatigued after like 10 to 12. Well, it's just going to be a case of just specificity principle. You get better at the things you do regularly. So just keep at it. It should get better over time. You're just going to have to kind of slowly increase the reps over time. Just have to kind of be patient. A lot of people are going to start off with maybe 10, 12. Some people can't even do a single push-up at first. You just got to keep like, I would say just don't overdo it, because that, if you do too much volume, that could impact recovery. So just find the right balance, but be progressively overloading over time. But if you're doing everything right, you're getting enough protein, you get enough sleep, all these kind of things, it should increase over time. That makes sense, yeah. Like, I don't know what else I can really say to like increase it, but I think the best thing is just focusing on just greasing the groove. Just keep on practicing it. Do a few sets to failure. You don't have to do them all to failure. You could do like maybe your first set, go to failure, and then do a bunch of like just greasing the groove and just kind of doing a few reps and just trying to build up that work capacity. Thank you for the hearts, Rosie. Oh, nice one. But ultimately, you want to try and slowly increase the amount of reps that you're doing over time. So that way you're building up the stamina and the endurance. But yeah, you want to just kind of focus on quality over quantity as well. So it's like, try not to focus too much on the number, focus on the quality of the reps as well. Like you keeping your back straight, because that's something I've been trying to work on is the form. Am I keeping my back straight? Because if you keep your back straight and you're engaging your core, I tried earlier actually to try and tighten my core, which helps to keep that back straight. So it keeps everything in a line, because the core is going to help to like keep that neutral spine. Oh yeah, thank you, Shirozi. But it's like, I'm pretty sure like if you guys really thought it was that bad, then you would tell me. But it's like Richard, he probably would have told me if it was that bad. He said, maybe this isn't for you or something like that. So, do you really want to be like doing this. It's like it would never say like it's bad or anything. It would give constructive criticism. I appreciate when people do that. If there's anything like, for example, maybe like a good song choice or something like that, maybe some song choices don't really fit my voice or something like that, then I appreciate, if people want to like give that kind of input. But to just kind of like straight up just be rude and just saying that I'm not a very good singer or something, it's just not really called for, is it? You have to have a strong core muscle with the exercise you do. Yeah, I mean, it's coming on. It's just about kind of slow and steady progress, really, and just kind of don't expect things overnight, really. But yeah, I've still got a lot of work to do, really, with that. Still have a lot of stuff I want to try and achieve. There's a lot of skills I'd want to unlock over time, but it's just as a taller guy, it does take longer for a lot of the moves and stuff, just because of has to do with strength to body weight ratio and stuff, and yeah, long limbs, it doesn't help a lot of these things. But madness of life, how you doing? Hope you're doing well tonight. So it's just about kind of just trying to just work on these like weaknesses to then become strengths. It's like it's like kind of just see it as like, if you've got a weakness, then once you actually unlock these things, then I'm about 6'4", so I've got quite long arms and stuff. So I find like range of motion is quite high when you've got long arms. It's just you're pushing your body weight through a greater amount of space, which is going to like fatigue you quite quickly. You're pushing more body weight through a greater amount of space. And like when you're doing a pull-up, for example. So I've been struggling with that. I've just unlocked them, and my max that I've done so far is like 4. On most occasions, I can do about 3, but if I've recovered properly, I can do about 4 in a set, which is But it's like apparently something like 70% of people can't even do a single pull-up. So if we kind of like look at those kind of in context, then it's like, yeah, I'd still probably be well above average in terms of what I can do. Because most of the people that I know, they can't even do a single pull-up, let alone do it for reps. So I did like 3 last night, like full range of motion. Yeah, full foot taller. Yeah. Yeah, I'm about 194 centimeters, something like that. But actually, the other day, I actually maxed out on the tricep press down machine, like to go right up to like the top weight. I also maxed out on the crunch machine as well. Some exercises I can max out on because I can leverage my power better, because like I can actually use the force from my like body, like my long arms. I can press more force down into it. Yes, I'm in the UK. Yeah, how you doing anyway? Arunam Balal. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but hope you're doing well. Make sure you give me a follow if you're new here. That would be really appreciated. So it's like when crunching, if I'm, be able to use more body weight basically. And so that might be why I've been able to get some pretty good scores on that. Whereas on certain exercises like pull downs and stuff, like I can get like decent scores, but it's definitely not as good because of like, you're pulling you're pulling, you're not able to like leverage your body weight the same way. I think like I think on a lot of like pushing exercises, I'm able to like leverage the long arms better, but on a lot of like on like the so like the machines and like free weights and stuff, but yeah, I mean, I hope everyone's well anyway. So I maxed out was like 25 kilograms on the weighted push-ups. Well, I was going to put a video out where I did 4 of them. I actually did 5 once as well, but yeah, that's something I'm quite happy about. I want to try and get towards about 10 reps on the 25 kilogram push up. So that might be a goal for like the next few weeks or a couple of months, maybe something like that. Just kind of try and focus on little goals and stuff, really, I guess. Yeah, it turns out strange. I just keep blocking it. It's like, well, not, I mean, muting. Yeah, so I hope everyone's well tonight anyway. So I did like 100 kilograms for like, I think it was 15 reps on the leg press. So I've noticed some increased strength on that. And I was using like a good range of motion. Whereas back in the day, I would have probably done 100 kilograms with less range of motion and less reps, probably. But I don't really do leg press much. I don't necessarily really like how it feels that much. It just feels like there's a lot of force involved in it and just kind of doesn't really feel like a natural movement. A lot of these machines, I just don't really feel like, they just don't feel natural. Like the overhead press on machine, I'd rather use like dumbbells or a barbell or something like that. Just feels like a more natural object. It's free. It's feels more functional rather than some kind of mechanical system. Yeah. So like cables can be okay, but because they're a bit more free, like cables are kind of like you can kind of move them around a bit more. But yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of machines, to be honest. Especially the Smith machine, I'm not really a big fan on that. Yeah, 100 kg is heavy. Reps of 5 sets on any muscle group, you're gonna get massive gains. Yeah, definitely. That's it. I maxed out on the tricep press down, which is kind of like a tricep dip. Yeah. So like a tricep dip would be a more kind of tricep dominant version of a dip. So instead of like leaning forward more, you would kind of just be more upright and kind of you'll be kind of doing, you can do it like a bench dip. That's like the easier version of it, but the more advanced version would be like on a parallel bar or something, and just you would focus on trying to like do kind of this kind of motion with your tricep. So you'd be kind of working that basically. Whereas the other dips would be a bit more chest focused. So you get a good stretch on the chest. So depending on how you do the exercise, you're going to target the muscles a bit differently. Just slight differences can make all the difference in terms of how you stimulate the muscle. But yeah. But yeah, I actually prefer tricep dips over like chest focused dips. I just find, I don't know, because it's a lot of leaning forward and it feels like I kind of get the feeling like I'm just gonna like, fall forwards, and it's, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, 5x5. I've heard about that. Yeah, I've heard about the 5x5. Is that 5 reps 5 times or something? Is that, if I remember? Um, well, there's different ones. There's like pyramid training and stuff like that, where you start off on a lightweight and then you build it up and then bring it down. There's all sorts of different things, but yeah, I mean it's intensity and stuff like that. Yeah, it'll get you strong, definitely. As well as like 5 reps can be quite a good balance of like hypertrophy and strength. As long as you're doing a volume, so if you're doing say 5 times 5, that kind of makes sense. because then you're doing kind of you're going to failure at each time. Whereas if you're doing like say sets of like 10, 15, 20 reps, then yeah, that's going to work the muscles and stuff, but those rep ranges are not going to build as much maximum strength. So yeah, 5 reps can be good for like for maximizing both. Some even say you can go as little as 3 reps as long as they're good quality and they're time under tension and all that. Yeah. It's about the intensity, like really forcing like the growth and making sure you have that mind muscle connection. 'Cause that's what a lot of people lack. They're not connected to the muscle that they're training. They're just kind of fucking about. It's like, say, if you're doing a bunch of bicep curls and they're doing this kind of stuff, it's like they're pretty much hitting every other muscle rather than the biceps. Sorry, I'm just how you doing, Belle? I hope you're well. It's on YouTube at the same time, so I'm trying to. So yeah, hitting the biceps and you want to be keeping it strict form. So I've been trying to work on that. And do body weight bicep curls as well. They're pretty good as well. Like you just go under like either rings or suspension straps, and you can just kind of leverage your own body weight in different ways. Hello, Andre. How's it going? Hope you're well. Yeah, make sure you subscribe if you're new here. Yeah, hope everyone's had a good day anyway. Let's get 5,000 likes on TikTok Live. Who's still here? Is Haley still there? Yeah. But yeah, going to failure is very hard. Like to true failure, that is. So maybe doing, say, like 5 reps, it might be like easier to do it to 5 reps. It's at Jamie Brown JB. So, because the thing was like, if you say doing 15 reps or something, then it can be hard to go to failure because you're going to start getting that lactic acid probably. Let's say when you get to about 10, 11, 12 reps, you're starting to really get that burning sensation, and it can be quite hard to push past that. So lower reps might be better for some people if they're trying to just if you want to just do a few sets of like really high rep, maybe a few sets with like really like quite low reps, between about 3 to 7 reps, something like that, with like good form and stuff, and like done with intensity where you're exploding up on the concentric with some control on the eccentric. Sometimes I would mess up and then like kind of like really explode up but not actually control the eccentric. And on some exercises that could be dangerous. Like say if you're doing a bicep curl, that could be where injuries happen if you don't like control the eccentric, because if you're just letting it down, it go down, then you could tear the like the tendons or something. It could be quite dangerous. Hello, Strawberry. How you doing? Not seen you for a while. Hope all is well. What have you been up to lately? Yeah, I hope everyone's had a good day. Yeah, I've seen you before now. Yeah, just hope everyone's had a great day. Share the live back if you can. But yeah, like some say, 8 to 12 rep range and all that, but I don't think there's an optimal rep range. The optimal rep range is what you can stick to, I would say. Like if you find that 3 to 7 reps or whatever is what you find that you can stick to, and you're going to have better, consistency with that, and because it's not too much lactic acid, and you're not feeling that burn. There is things like beta alanine that can help you to push into that kind of 10, 15, 20 rep range even more. I do take beta alanine, so but yeah, going like say 3 to 7 reps, something like that, it's going to be more strength. Well, actually 1 to 3 is like maximum strength. But yeah, around sort of like 3 to 7, say like that's still a good amount of strength because yeah, you're still going to be at quite heavy weights in that range. Once you get in above say 8 reps or so, 10 reps, then that starts to become more muscular endurance, especially after about 15 reps. So you kind of like, some say 8 to 12 is the sweet spot, but like I said, depends really. But yeah. Now you could say like bodybuilding do kind of, rep ranges where it's not as much, maximum strength, and then build strength later if that's what your goal is in the long term. But I think you can still build muscle in low reps if you train to failure and you break down the muscles, basically. Well, you don't want to break down the muscles too much. But anyway, there's all science to it, but basically, yeah, I think they found that it's something between, some say it's 5 to 30 reps, but I think the range is even broader than that. I mean, let's see, like, about building muscle. Can you build muscle with 3 reps? Let's see what it says. I'm sure I've heard the minimum is 3 or something like that. Well, it says it's less efficient than 6 to 12, but the low reps 1 to 5 focus more on maximum strength, contractile hypertrophy, and risk injury, while moderate reps offer better time and attention for overall muscle growth. So, well, it's the joints that some people can be a bit bothered about. Yeah, it's just that you have to kind of go through all that crap. But so basically, doing like low reps for some people, they might find that is dangerous. I guess it depends on if your joints can handle it and stuff like that. I guess it comes down to like each individual. But I'm wondering if, say, like if you was doing kind of a few sets of like low reps. For example, I would do like pull-ups, and I would be doing very low reps because I can only do very low reps on them. Yeah, thank you, Murdoch. So, and I've noticed some, not only strength gains but also some muscle gains as well. Because if I work them and if say I do, a few sets of, even if I'm only doing a couple of reps, what I would do is even a single rep. So I'll do a single rep and then really slow, like the negative. Like I could do a negative that lasts like a few seconds, basically, because that's where a lot of that tension is going to be in that negative portion. So you could just do single reps basically and just try to. So you could do single rep, slow eccentric, then have a bit of a break, try and do another rep, slow eccentric. So that's like how I've been kind of doing things. So I'm kind of like blending maximum strength and some hypertrophy into like a single set by doing it that way. So I'll be like, kind of eccentric, try and go up as fast as I can, and then very slow on the way down. Hi, Brian Lane, how are you doing? And notice that my lats have started to get bigger by doing that. So, yeah. But yeah, some might say, like low reps are bad for like injury risk or something, but I think it comes down to the individual and things like your form and your technique and stuff like that. I mean, how many people have been injured just from like doing a pull-up or something like that? Like they've learned to do a pull-up and they've just injured themselves or something like that. I don't, or if they've, let's say they're maxing out on like a weighted pull-up. I did try to do a 10 kilogram weighted pull-up like the other week. I only just about managed it, but I'm happy with that. I've managed to. Good to see you again. How are you doing? I've been streaming on TikTok because I've been doing busking. I did that today. I was out yesterday as well, actually. So yeah, from a deadlift. I suppose like deadlifts are kind of like, I guess, inherently a more dangerous lift. So, having good form and stuff like that is important. But like, yeah, but there's certain moves, I guess, that are not so dangerous to max out on. Let's say if you're doing kind of, a weighted pull up or a weighted dip or something like that, I'm guessing they're not going to be as dangerous to max out on. Been moving house. Oh yeah, you were saying, yeah. How are you doing anyway? I can't really see someone being at a high risk of injury from like maxing out on a weighted pull up or weighted chin up or something like that, weighted dip, weighted pull ups, push ups. I mean, yeah, so sometimes I use like little reps, like I did the 4 reps on weighted push ups the other day. Doing 25 kilograms. It's kind of awkward because you have to like set it up. I'd avoid max on deadlift. Yeah, I was trying to max out, and some say it's not good because it's yeah. I mean, you're kind of have to be careful with your form and stuff, but I kind of always seem to mess it up a bit. But I've seen a lot worse, though. To be fair, like I've seen people do a lot of really bad rounding. I think as long as you don't round the lower back too much, I don't think it's that dangerous. But if you have a lot of, look, if your lower back's really rounded, that's where the problems happen, I think. Especially if it's not like, kind of strong enough for that. Something, been walking a lot, but it's wet outside. Rain and more rain. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good, is it? It's been a bit miserable on it. Yeah, I might try to do some rolls and stuff after. Yeah, so basically there's like you do like inverted rolls or body weight rolls, and you've got this thing as well. Like it's kind of like a face pull, or you could call it high rolls as well. Kind of similar. Pulled neck trying to do 10 pull-ups. Oh yeah. Oh really? That's not good, is it? So it can even happen on high reps as well. You saying I guess it's form and like I don't know. How did that happen? Is it because when people get to the top of the rep, they're kind of like, I notice some people do this thing where they get to the top of the pull up. Instead of actually going above the bar, what they'll do is they'll like do this thing with their neck to try and clear the bar. So instead of actually pulling yourself over, it's kind of like cheating, really. Where they'll kind of just bend their neck back to try and kind of. Hello, Neva. I think looking forward is better. Yeah, but it's like people will kind of like do this to try and kind of be like, oh, I've got my chin over the bar, but you haven't really. Thank you for the rose, is Shirozi. No, I don't want that. No. It was squeezing neck up. Yeah. So what were you doing this thing where you're like, and then like pull it, and here where you were just like, maybe you want to do some neck exercise, or don't know, maybe that can help potentially. Because if your neck was weak and it wasn't able to like deal with that contraction stuff, like yeah. So maybe doing some like neck extensions, neck curls. So you do like so there's like neck extensions, neck curls. There's also things like that. So there's different like accessory exercises you can do for your neck. Like a lot of like fighters, they use them like kind of strengthen their neck up to try and improve like so they don't get choked out and stuff like that. Also, having a strong neck is good for like preventing whiplash, or at least mitigating the effects of whiplash. So it can be good to train the neck for that, really. But trying to get one more rep and turtleneck up at angle, yeah. I see a lot of people do that where they're getting that last rep and they're kind of just bending up and kind of they can be like bending their back up a bit as well, which probably isn't the best if you're not used to that. So yeah. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well tonight. We'll be getting off at about probably 1:30, about another 10 minutes, everybody. But I noticed that my neck grew just from like kind of indirectly, I think. I don't usually do anything specific for the neck. Um, I suppose like doing stuff for the traps, it kind of indirectly trains the neck, um, but yeah, there is things you can do like kind of. Some people would like rest a buck on their neck or something like that and use that as resistance. There's also like self resistance as well. If you don't have access to that, where you would just like put your like you could like say what you would do is you would put your hands on it, sort of thing, and then you would kind of like you could do it. Kind of might look a bit stupid, but what I've seen people doing things like where they would press down to try and create resistance. So it's called self resistance. So, like for example, there's um, yeah, thank you for the roses, Shirozi. Like for example, I saw this exercise where they did a lateral raise with a self resistance. So what they do, it's probably not the most effective thing, but I guess it can work if you've got nothing else. But what you would do is you put one arm here, and then you would kind of use that arm to like resist the other one. So you'd be pressing down. So you'd be like, then you're, yeah, the other arm has to work harder to like, yeah, to go against that resistance. So you've got one arm pressing down, and the other one trying to fight that. So, yeah. Anyway, gonna build muscle 5 to 10 kg disc on the head for 30 seconds. Yeah, yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah. I mean, they have this like sit up bench thing. So that could possibly work for things like that as well. If you're doing like, so I guess it would work good on an angle, like on an incline or a decline. I mean, so you would like, you could set yourself up on a decline. I'm guessing that works better than, I don't know, actually, I'm not sure how you would be best to do it really. I guess it wouldn't really matter. I think you'd want to actually be leaning off something if you want to do the curls, like the neck curls and the neck extensions. But there was like quite a few different ones, like these kind of different ones where they would do like different like kind of variations of like neck exercises, like where they do like kind of all sorts of different things to try and work the muscles a bit differently. I quite like an indoor rowing machine for winter. Maybe one at a rowing club or gym is better. Yeah, yeah. They have a Concept 2 rowing machine and the Ski Erg machine as well. I actually prefer Ski Erg. Actually, I quite like that one. So one where you stood up, it's kind of like mimics the skiing. I just find that with rowing machines is that if I try and go really hard, I feel like it's going to throw me off the seat because it actually happened once where I tried to do a sprint on it, going as fast as I could, and actually threw me off the seat. And I was like, "Oh, this is not good, is it?" Because it's like, yeah, you can kind of come off the seat basically. Because yeah, your feet are locked in place, but your ass and like you're not locked into the seat. So that's the thing with the rowing, isn't it? But yeah, rowing club is like be like actual rowing. It would, I guess, that would be better than the gym, really. But hi, Sir Louise. Hope you're well. Good to see you again. Hope you've had a good day today. But yeah, it's still good if you can use that one. But yeah, I quite like the cross trainer actually. It's a good workout. Works your whole body pretty much. Well, a lot of them do actually. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it's just but you have to go fast if you want to. You have to go at like a fast stroke rate if you're going to do like sprinting. Like if I'm doing say like a 100-meter sprint or a 200-meter sprint or something. like the stroke rate has to be enough. Yeah, there has to be force as well, but you have to go quite fast to be able to get the um what do they call it? That thing moving, the fan moving, basically. Yeah. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. Yeah, so there's medicine ball slam. I quite like that exercise as well. It's quite a fun workout. I don't know if anyone's ever tried that. Yeah, I'm doing fine, thanks. How you doing? Yeah, medicine ball slam's a good one. What else is there? Kettlebell swings are a good one as well. If you just for like kind of general conditioning. All right, see you later, Sharozi. Yeah, you take care. See you again soon. What, 9 people in here apparently on TikTok, 3 people on YouTube. Yeah, it's going all right. Thanks. Just been talking about the fitness stuff. 100 kg of what? Sorry, what do you mean? 100 kg of what? Who said anything about 100 kg? I don't know. Have you been doing any bench press or flies on the bench? I did bench press yesterday. I did 50 kilograms, 15 reps. I could have probably done more if I'd have done it with like a certain technique or something. I don't use any technique on the bench. I just lie flat on the bench and I just kind of go with full range of motion and stuff. It's just some people do arch back and stuff like that, driving with the legs and stuff. But I don't do any of that. So God knows what I could do if I actually perfected the technique and stuff, because I don't do any of that. I just kind of, yeah. Like some people say that it's not the most efficient way to do it, but so I don't know. I don't really do bench press a lot, but yeah, I did some like flies not long ago. I tried doing flies on the TRX, but I just find it hard to kind of I find it a bit hard to yeah, it's a bit quieter at night. Depends really, but yeah. Like late at night it gets quieter, but flies on the TRX. But I just find that I just feel like I'm kind of cheating by just kind of using other body parts. I don't know, it's hard to really I find it hard to kind of get the mind muscle connection on the TRX for the flies. I don't know if you saw a video. What I did is the dumbbell flies. So I used 2 dumbbells, and what I would do is I would actually kind of roll them kind of like to the side and then roll them in. So I could get a fly kind of movement. So when I'm like going down, I bring them in, and then I would do it the other way. So I bring them out as I'm going down, and then bring them in. So that's how you could do a fly with like push-ups. You could do a dumbbell push-up fly, I guess you could call it, or push-up dumbbell fly. I don't know, but you could just do it with dumbbells or whatever. But if you've got light dumbbells or whatever, you can just do push-up dumbbell flies. Yeah, it's good for mental health and physical health. They kind of go hand in hand with each other, don't they? Really. Yeah, a couple more minutes, guys. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, you might even be able to do that fly exercise with like 2 mats if they can slide well. I'd have to find something that I could use really, but can be a bit tricky. You have to have the right floor that you can just slide across. Oh yeah, thank you, Bex. Yeah, we got some trolls trying to be negative and stuff, but it is what it is. That's what you've got to come to expect with these things, haven't you? Really, there's always going to be negative people and what have you. There's going to be like naysayers. There's going to be all sorts of negative Nancy's, negative Nigels in this world. They just try and poo-poo everything and just probably because they lack something themselves. It's sad, really, but instead of them self-reflecting, they don't. Yeah, it's like whatever. But Where are you from anyway? Hope you've all had a good day. So what was it, 100 kg you were talking about? Yeah. I might be able to do 100 kg bench if I perfected everything. Like the max I've ever done on a bench press, like with a spotter, I did like 70 kilograms once, but I could definitely go above that now. And especially if I got the technique right, I could probably do 90 to 100 kilograms, maybe something like that. Maybe even more. I don't know. Because I haven't tried maxing out doing with certain techniques and stuff. But like I said, I did push up 25 kilograms on my back for like 4 or 5 reps. So, like, if I worked that out, I mean, my max push up's probably like 35 kilograms, something like that, just as a rough calculation. That's with like a body weight 100 kilograms. So that's probably close to about 100 kilograms of weight that I'm pushing if for my max. Now, yeah, push ups are more stable than say using a, you know, I'm probably up to about 90, I reckon, on the bench press, probably just as a rough estimate. So if anyone asked that, I mean, that's probably where I'm at, somewhere between 90 to 100, but I'm not 100% sure. Because, yeah, obviously push-ups, there's a bit less range of motion, but then you could argue that bench press, there's actually less range of motion because, well, basically you're arching your back if you're doing it with that technique, which is actually going to somewhat decrease your range of motion. So it's hard to really say what has the most range of motion, but yeah, I just want to keep getting stronger and try and just keep seeing improvements with that. Really, I reckon I'm not far off 100 kilogram bench press if I was to do everything right. Because I'd probably be up to about 75 with just kind of like the current technique that I've got, but just as a rough guess, for based on how many reps I did of 50 kilograms. So it might be like say 75 or so, but then it's like, if I did everything right technique, I could get a few more kilograms. Because leg drive can help and stuff like that. Some people can get a few extra kilograms just by incorporating leg drive into the bench press. But I don't use any leg drive when I'm doing it because I'm not really focusing on that. I'm just kind of trying to focus on just using some say like doing full range is not ideal for bench press because like they'll do this like arching thing. So I was asking about that. Why do they do that? And they were saying it's because something about it isolating the chest more or something like that because you're going from like this position, so you're not really like. Whereas going from like all the way like like full range of motion, your shoulders are getting involved quite a bit. But I don't know. I don't really do bench press that much, really. So, anyways, anyone still here? Hope everyone's well. Going to be getting off in a sec, guys. So, yeah. It'd be cool if I could do a 100 kilogram bench. That would be cool if I can attempt to that, but I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet. That'd be a cool milestone to get to, wouldn't it? I mean, my max squat I've worked out is probably about. Yeah, I do have YT. Yeah. Why? Anyway, so Any more questions? But it's like, how many guys can actually do a 100 kilogram bench press? I'm kind of curious. How many men can do a 100 kilogram bench? It says that less than 1% of the general population. Obviously, that's like men and women or something. Let's say men, because obviously men are generally going to be stronger. So let's look at in terms of male population. So it says here, bench press is a significant strength milestone achievable by a small fraction of the general male population, with estimates suggesting well under 10%, potentially as low as 0.1% globally. However, for regular gym goers, it's a common intermediate goal, with some training logs showing it's around the 50th percentile median for active lifters, meaning many dedicated men surpass it, but most casual gym goers won't reach it. So there's all these people saying stuff like, it says here about 5 to 10% of active gym goers can bench 100 kilograms. Let's say about what is it? If you can't bench 100 kilograms or 225 if you're in America, basically, that's 102 kilograms. But they'll say stuff like, oh, if you can't bench 100 kilograms in your week. Well, according to these statistics, like you're probably in the top 1% of strength if you can bench 100 kilograms. So it's absolutely just like ridiculous for anyone to say that you're weak if you can't quite do that. Yeah, I'm on at Jamie Brown JB. If you want to get me on YouTube, I just don't want to have to keep saying it because I don't know if TikTok really likes that. Oh yeah, if anyone does fitness stuff and they want creatine, go onto my shop page. There should be some creatine there if you want to buy it from me. But yeah, because I have an offer on that. It's just to let you know. I think it's like a one-time offer thing, but yeah. Anyway, it says I can get commission if people buy it. So I'm thinking like if I can start selling like products, do like affiliate marketing, then basically, can't I? Anyway, yeah. So apparently I can start selling stuff on TikTok Shop. Some people make bank doing that stuff, but there's some people who kind of exaggerate stuff, and I don't think that's very ethical, really. But some people will do anything to make bank, but I couldn't do that myself. I couldn't lie to my audience and grift. It's not right, is it? Right, Mandy, how are you doing? I hope you're well. I couldn't just grift to my audience. It just isn't right to me, really. I'd rather just be genuine and honest with my people, I just don't like, yeah. I don't see the point in just being, a grifter just to make a bit, to make more money. I just don't feel like it's right doing that stuff. But yeah, what do you guys think? Some people have the attitude of like, oh, if you can't beat him, join him. But it's just, I don't think that's a good mentality to have. I think we have to set an example of having ethics and morality, and not just lying to your audience and just exaggerated claims and stuff. And it's just going to end up biting you on the ass in the long run anyway, because when the people realize that you're full of crap, then it's like, oh, actually, maybe we should just kind of, stay away from this person, because you end up getting a bad reputation, That's the thing. It's like people can like complain and say, "Oh yeah, this put their reviews out and stuff like that," and say, "Yeah, don't buy anything from this person who's lying," and they're Anyway, I'm gonna get going, everybody. So I will see you all next time. It'll be tomorrow, hopefully. So.